What's the haps? I'm Meroka, and today I'm going to be taking a quick look at...
This is the Guild of Dungeoneering.
Yeah, that. Thank you very much, song. This is by Gambrinous. This is a kind of a dungeon crawly... little bit roguelike, maybe? I'm not sure. It's a weird kind of thing. You will note on the main menu here, we don't have any options at all to speak of, which is kind of unfortunate, so... yeah, I'm not going to be able to record this in the right resolution for YouTube. Hooray, love it when that happens. So yeah, there's no audio options, so I can't turn down the guy singing in the background, and I can't change the resolution, which are fairly fundamental things. Oh, and I can't turn VSync off. The game is locked at 30 frames per second, which I presume is VSync's doing. Can't do much about that. Nope. So all in all, that's a pretty poor show. All those are just not great, like, at all. Fortunately, the game doesn't suffer too much from being locked at 30. It's a very, very simple kind of turn-based card strategy kind of thing, but on the whole, it would be nice to see some options. Without further ado, though, since we can't do options, let's just head on into the game. Let's have a look. Guild of Dungeoneering. This is my guild that I have built. This is our guild of, as it were, Dungeoneers. We build a little sort of complex for ourselves with different buildings. Each of the buildings will allow us different abilities and things and such forth as we go into the dungeons. Some of them will attract certain specific kinds of adventurers. You got your basic one, who is a chump, who does not like being clicked. We have a library here, which will attract a mage kind of character. We've got a sort of a trickster's guild, which gets like a thief, well, it's a cat burglar is technically the character. We have a theatre which attracts mimes if you wish to play with a mime, and I think this is our bruiser up here. We have a look at my dungeoneers. We have a list of them. We have Sish, Eti, Warga, Keppel. Yes, you can rename them. Many of my dungeoneers have been named. I wouldn't get too attached to any of them though, they tend to die pretty easily. And Mary is my bruiser. And I didn't pick that name, but Mary is apparently in there as a name. If we go into... where is it? There is a graveyard somewhere. This is our graveyard. Yay! There's all our graves. There's the people that may have died in the quest for things. Hey, Tulkas died. Tulkas didn't get out much. Fixer didn't like the sight of blood. Oh well, never mind. So, these guys, we want to go on an adventure with them, really. Some of these are just shops. These will add extra things to the levels as we go into them. Got a trophy room up here, which will show our conquests over various bosses. I have killed a... what was that one? Oh, that's the Goblin Teeth from the Orc Warlord. So, you can have a look at your past conquests and the tale from the Rat King. So, let's head on into an adventure and see what this is all about. We can go exploring. Let us take... we've got a brand new adventure here, so we should go into one of the sort of low-level ones, I think. Test your metal, defeat a skeleton. We'll take... I will take the bruiser, because I've quite enjoyed using the bruiser. And also the bruiser is merry, so that kind of works nice for me. Enter dungeon! So here we go, we have a dungeon. We have very little control over our guy. Merry is very much kind of independent and acts of their own accord. What we can do is we're going to build the dungeon around him, use it, or indeed her, in fact, Merry is a her, isn't it? We can build a dungeon around by placing these cards in the dungeon. So we've got the red cards are enemies that we can place for them to fight. We've got the blue cards are rooms and corridors and things, and indeed a mysterious fountain, which is going to be a special kind of room, which may be good, may be bad, who knows. And we don't have any here, but there are gold cards which allow us to place loot in the dungeons. So we want to get to this skeleton and kill it. There's a level 2 character, we're currently level 1, so we're going to need to gear up a bit. Admittedly, I don't have many options for gearing up at this stage. Got a mysterious fountain, so we can see what we can do about getting us a buff there. Mysterious fountains, we do a flip, 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 and yeah, you either get a red one, which is a bad one, like there. Basically, this dungeon has been set up in such a way that we're going to have to fight the skeleton with a debuff, so if we go past the Fountain of Blindness, the monster is going to gain Conceal next fight. I don't know what that does. A lot of things in the game do give you tooltips if you hover over them. In this case, I don't know what Conceal does. I can tell you what Decay does. The hero gains Decay, which means if I take 2 or more damage in one hit, I will take an extra damage. However, we can get the Predictable, which means I can see what cards the enemy's going to draw, so that's going to be kind of a nice one. I want to add a room on there, I guess. And I kind of feel like if I head this way, I'm going to be getting to the boss kind of too soon, so I think I want to throw a Mimic in. Let's throw a Mimic in there. No. Okay. So, as I say, the characters move of their own accord. You can kind of try to guide them into certain locations, but it's not always the case. Normally, if you provide them with a fight or some loot, they will run towards fights and loot. But it's not... I mean, I've been playing this a couple hours now, and I still haven't quite figured it out. Generally, if you put loot, there's no loot next to them. So if I put loot there, they're going to go, hey, shiny... They're not going to go, hey, shinies. Damn it! They're supposed to run towards shinies, or generally tend to run towards shinies. In this case, they haven't. Let's put a nasty rat there, see if he wants to fight. No, he's going to completely ignore the treasure and the rat in favour of running. I keep saying he, because I keep thinking of Mary as being myself, but no, Mary is she. She's going to run towards the shrine and get the Fountain of Blindness, which is not going to help anybody. I can throw a Flame Imp in there, so I think the fights take precedence before the fountains are kind of activated, so... We will do the fight first before I take the debuff, which will hopefully get me some gear and some deals. So this is the combat system. This is the main meat of it. It took a little while to get here. Right, so we have a deck of cards. They have a deck of cards. We'll draw the top 3, and I have to play one to counter theirs. We get to see what theirs is going to do, and apparently the Fire Imp is predictable, so we always get to see what their card is. A lot of enemies you won't get that, but in this case we do. And there's also Night Owl, who gets less health if you've got lots of cards around them. So if you knew that was coming, you could sort of prepare, and you could place that in a tile that is well surrounded by other tiles and give them less health. However, I think we've got the advantage here. We've got 5 health to their 4, and I'm feeling confident. So they've got a magic attack, which is unblockable. I have a block 2 magic, but that's not going to do much because it's unblockable. We've got block physical, that's not going to do much because they're not going to do that. So all I can do is, oi! And hit them. I like the card. The cards are just generally a bit silly. There's a card that's just, which is don't do anything, which is entertaining. So, yeah. The Bruiser is kind of... I feel like the Bruiser's kind of like a Cockney kind of thug. Is you trying something? Nice try, chump. Kind of thing. I feel like he's a character out of Lock, Stock or something. Is, get out of here. Boom, hit him. And just oi. Oi is a great ability. So they've got Fiery Weapon, which is going to do 2 damage. I can block half of that because it's a mix of magic and fire, magic and physical, so I can't block both types of damage. I can only block one of them, so I'm probably just going to hit them back in the face. They're going to do Spark next, which I can block, or I can just do how do you like this? And hit them. That's an unblockable attack, so I win! That was a really basic fight. So when you level up, as we did for killing that, which is nice, we'll get some options. So let's bring up our skill tree. We are Bruiser. Bruiser does not have any skills off the bat. Other types of characters can have skills. I've got a Blessing, which is Trickster's Favor, which means you gain some extra loot early on, I think. So yeah, after the first 2 fights, we gain extra choices of loot, which means normally you'd only pick from 3, but because I've got my Trickster's Favor as my Blessing, you get to pick one of those when you pick your characters to go in as well. I didn't have a look at that particularly, but there's a few options there, as my choice gets me extra loot. My trait as a Bruiser is if I block an attack, I deal damage, which I can use to greater effect if I have more blocking stuff, which I don't right now. Other characters, let's say the Mage starts with basic fire skills, so if we pick some of these, we can see a Copper gives you skill 1 in skill fire 1. Wooden Board gives you armor 1, Hand Axe gives you crush 1 and blade 1, and a Paper Crown gives you holy 1. So I'm going to take... I'll take the Hand Axe because it levels a couple of skills there, actually, and they're quite nice. So now we have some skill trees down here. We kind of got skills 1, Crush 1 gives us bash, and Blade 1 gives us slice, which is 2 damage. If I pick up another item in the head slot, or offhand slot, or body slot, or a better weapon that has Crush 2 or Blade 2 on it, that will be upgraded, and I will have 2 skills in that tree. And I think each of the skills, as far as I can make out, seem to upgrade up to a maximum of 4 levels. So I don't think there's any way I can entice him to go to that Mimic, like, at all. I could put a Scorpion there. I don't think they'll be interested in fighting the Scorpion. No, we're just going to go fight the Skeleton with a debuff. It's got quite a short dungeon, actually, because I have not been able to convince Mary to go where I would like her to go. So I've got my 2 skills there. If I picked up more items, I would have been able to level them up more. It would have been a bit more interesting. But as it is, not much I can do. You don't have to place all 3 cards as well. I can place a Bandito there. But you can end turn at any point. I will place a room there just for the sake of having stuff, I suppose. No real reason to it. You get different cards each time, so Doesn't matter. It does seem to be a sort of a slow increase in power as you go through. The more turns you take, the more inclined it seems to be to give you, like, level 3 enemies as opposed to level 1 enemies. So, oh, conceal. So I have no idea what they're going to do. Oh, right. That's... I would have preferred... I think maybe I would have preferred to have gone the other way. So I've got no idea what they're going to do. That could be trouble. A skeleton, I figure, might do some physical damage. So let's try bash. They used drain. That was a magic attack. If I'd blocked magic, that would have been better. Let's try that. Anger. That's no good. Yeah, conceal makes this way harder than it needs to be. Let's get out of here. Nope, they blocked my attack. Yikes. Conceal's nasty. Conceal's really nasty. You trying something? Oh, I blocked it. So because I'm spiky, they took 1 damage because I blocked it. That was useful because I had my actually that was one of my default ones, wasn't it? I was thinking my item gave me that. Now slice would be one of the ones from my items. So they take 3 damage because that was a headbutt, deals 2 damage but deals 1 to themselves, and I dealt 1, so they took 3 damage. I don't think I'm going to win this fight, just going to be honest. I think Mary is about to die. I've got no way to block whatever might be incoming. I can do that, but 1 damage kills me. So I figure I might want to go around the kind of the brittle kind of way, or decay or whatever it was. So you get after a run you get a bit of gold for your guild. I've got Natqua, you can rename them. So I've got a new Dungeoneer. If you want to click on their name, you could rename them. I'm not going to bother. There we go. If we go to expand guild, we can spend the money we just earned. We didn't get much out of that because it wasn't a very long run. We didn't stay in there very long and earn much loot, but we did get a tiny bit, which brings us to 120. I can't spend anything here. All the second tier of stuff costs 500 an item. All the first tier costs 50 a time, and I bought all the first tier of mites and magics and loots. The loot items are the rooms that just add more items to the dungeons. So if we have a look at that, that's if we buy the Weird and Wonderful store, that will get us a rare offhand, a rare weapon, a rare level 2 head, and a rare offhand 3. The kind of the rarity and level is just in tiny, tiny writing underneath. You might be able to make that out. So these are all way out of my price range right now, but they're probably pretty good when I get them. So a rare weapon 1 comes with Blade 2 on it, that's cool. A rare Cultist Hood, rare 2, Holy 2, Fire 1, an Owl Familiar, Holy 2. So those are some nice levels if you wanted to specialize in a few kind of fields. I do think it works well if you specialize in a kind of field and just build up one skill to high levels. You can, those will be good for doing that. We have a look at Fine Chisel. A Fine Chisel would give us a spiked shield, spiky, gives you spiky, blade 2 and armor 1. That's pretty nice. That is pretty nice. A mind staff, arcane 1, fire 1, and gives you wise. I don't even know what wise is. Can we have a look at some of the top level ones? Let's have a look at what's the workshop. The artificer. Oh, that's another character who starts with like twice the health of one. Okay, so there's kind of advanced characters which I wasn't even aware of. So yeah, okay, there's clearly some interesting stuff going on at the top end, but I'm nowhere near that. After a couple hours, I've just kind of unlocked all the basic classes, all the basic kind of talismans, and a few of the basic loots. So let's just go one more time. Let's have a wander through. Let's have a wander into something a little bit more interesting. So we've got the Fire Lord. I'm going to let's take a different class. See what we can do with a different class. Let's take. I quite like the cat burglars. Down here is where you choose your kind of your talismans. I still like the Trickster's Favor, so I'm going to go with that. It gives you more options in loot, and that gives you a bit more flexibility over the characters. So Etty, what does Etty do? Etty needs to defeat Embro. Oh man, this is quite the dungeon. So there's Embro, that is our boss, and we've got a long way to go to get to that. So we want to go grab that. Oh, Embro attacks in 12 turns. Okay. How does Embro... I guess I need to get to all of these things before I fight Embro, ideally. So you've got 12 turns to do it in. Let's put a room there, put a fire imp in it, and some loot in it. There we go. So Etty loves that room. That looks perfect. Oh, the cat burglar is all about cat puns. So, yeah. It's got a good sense of humor, this game. It's quite entertaining. I do like the style as well. It's very, very simple, but it's all got this really cool hand-drawn style. There's nothing complex about it, but it's just a really nice aesthetic. So whilst they're going, I'm going to use catnip, I think, and I will follow up by throwing a cat at them next turn. Sure, why not? Throw cat for 2 damage. Yeah. And because I buffed it with the catnip, it does 3 damage. So we can throw another cat at it. And there we go. So Etty wins. We beat the imp. That gives us a lot of options. So I believe the cat burglar... Was the cat burglar? Oh, Covetous gives you bonus treasure cards anyway. So the cat burglar gets 4 loot after every fight. And then because we've got the talisman, we actually get 5 loot choices after each fight. So we've got a couple. We've got offhand, gives us fire 1. We've got arcane wand, gives us arcane and growth. Hand axe, crush and blade. That's just crush. And that's just armor. I'm gonna go with a hand axe. No, let's go with something magical. The cat burglar doesn't really have a lot magical, so it's not necessarily the best synergy with kind of the stuff they've got going, but it's good to have a mix of stuff. So the default path, and the only path they can take right now, is to walk back the way they came, which ain't great, and there's not a lot I can do about that, to be honest. It's probably, I can put that there, but then they're going backwards, which is still not useful to me. I guess we're going to put a scary spider there. And that's not a good draw of cards. That's not great. So, I've got a bad feline about this. Mostly the game's selling on its aesthetic. It's a very charming game. Then the bard or whatever he is singing songs after each battle is quite entertaining as well. So they're going to use Neurotoxin. That makes me discard a card if it hits, and I've got no way to block it, so it is going to hit. So I could... It is frail, so if I deal physical damage to it, it takes 2 damage. So I'm going to buff myself because I don't want to lose that card, which means I can probably deal more damage next time. I can then use Scratch, which is going to deal 3 damage because I buffed it and it takes an extra 1 from frail, so that's 3 damage. I can throw Cat, which is going to deal 3 damage because it's frail, but it's going to heal 1 with Drain, and it's going to drain another 1. But I can throw for another 2, it's going to deal 1 damage, and I'm going to kill the spider! We can't... What have we got now? We've got another 5 options. 5 options being... What skills did we currently have? We had Arcane and Growth. Have we got anything that adds to Arcane and Growth? That's got Stupidity 1, which is not really a skill you want to grow, but it will add cards to your deck. We've got Crush and Growth, so that will add me... I will lose my Arcane ability, but I'll gain further Growth cards, I presume. No, further Crush. Yeah, I would gain... Which one did I already have? Hang on. Mind Strike, Rekindle... Oh, it's Growth, wasn't it? So this one comes with Growth 1. Oh, I'm replacing a weapon with a weapon, so I still got Growth 1. It doesn't really help, does it? Got Pigeon's Nest, Growth 1. That would add a second tier of Growth to me, so that would... Oh, actually that... It says Growth... Oh yeah, Growth 2 ability is Restore. What have I got? I've got Arcane 1, and Leatherbound Tone has Arcane and Fire, so I could add the extra Arcane ability. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that. I'm going to take the extra Arcane. So I guess I'm leveling my Arcane skills here. I've now got Mind Strike, which is 1 damage draw card. Focus is buff, heal, and draw card, which is kind of nice. Better wait 10 more turns. Ah, now we can move in the right direction. So let's throw some enemies in there. We can throw a spider there, throw a zombie there. Let's make some moves. Oh no, more clawful scary spiders. Let's do this. This is another frail one. They're all enemies are all the same. One type of enemy is one type of enemy. So they're gonna do magic damage. I can't do much about that. Other than I'll take catnip. I'll throw a cat next turn. You can heal above the top health, as you saw that one drained, so that actually healed its health above the maximum. So I'm going to throw a cat at it. That's going to deal quite a lot of damage. It's going to deal 4 damage, which is rather nice. It's going to deal 1 magic damage and block a physical, so it's a good job I have my arcane abilities. No, my fire abilities, in fact. So I'm going to do fire damage. Because that's magic damage, it doesn't take the extra damage. It only takes 1 from physical damage. And Neurotoxin is going to make me throw a card away if I can't do anything about it. I don't think it matters too much. I could use Rekindle. 1 magic damage. Heal myself a little bit. Doesn't matter. I just need to do the damage, really. So, I don't have any armor. Your character's avatar does change in appearance depending on what you've got equipped. I've got a soldier's helmet, which is just +1 health, which is a nice enough stat to have. I've got an offhand, I've got a weapon, so I don't know that I want any of these unless these are better, and none of them just... Yeah, none of them really are. Yeah, I think we're going to go with the soldier's helmet. I'll just take extra health. Extra health is always good to have. You think I'll miss that scary spider? Probably not. I put the scary spider there in the first place anyway. Let's add a room on here. That was a really bad decision because there's no way to get to this room without going like around or down and yeah, that was a poor choice. And put a fountain there. I think we're gonna miss that chest, and the loot chests do generally seem to have. They do seem to have generally have an item in it as well when you loot it, so it's just extra items for your equipment. Never mind. We'll put a. Let's do it. I'll put a bandito there. It's level 3, it might be a little tough, but we shall see, we shall see. I've got 3 out of 4 equipment slots, so I'm reasonably well geared. But the banditos are quite powerful. So the zombies have got the decay, which is the other effect we could have had in the other fight, so yeah, 2 damage takes an extra damage. So what I want to do is... It's going to block that, it's going to block half of that, I might as well use a buff. Buff my next physical attack. There we go, so now I can throw cat, and because of decay it's going to take 4 damage, no? Oh, it healed, so it took 3 damage. Right, gotcha. It's going to deal 1 damage and 1 to itself. If I use Rekindle, I'll do some damage to counteract the fact that it's dealing damage, so that's more. Headbutt. Gonna damage itself, and I throw a cat for 2. So that would be 4 damage total. There you go. It's a very simple combat system, but it's... I don't know, it's very satisfying to work your way through and see what counters what and what's most effective. So, as a skull cap, I would lose my health, but I would gain some rather nice defensive abilities because it's got armor 2, so it gave me the first 2 tiers of armor abilities. Which is pretty nice. The Shimmering Cloak, what's my current body? Oh, I don't have a current body, so there's more arcane abilities. That would give me Arcane 3, an unblockable 3 magic attack, and Flame Lash, a quick 2 attack. So normally the attacks resolve themselves all at the same time, but the quick attacks resolve themselves before anything else. So, not much I can do with this, other than place that there, I think. And place a null there. I might get myself killed by this bandito, to be honest. But that's as far as we're going today, I think. Are you kidding me? Oh, the cat puns, the cat puns. It's got a good sense of humor about itself, this game. It's all just a little bit silly. So head blow, they're going to do damage and make me throw away a card. I'm going to use my buff. Just so I don't... Oh yeah, throw cat, there we go. Oh, that's not very good because he's going to block that. Not that I had much option, I only had throw cat and throw cat. So they're going to do 2 damage, and actually the banditos are really powerful. This is really cool. I don't quite get how... They are level 3, but they just seem to be way more powerful than every other level 3 character I've fought. So I'm going to use my Arcane Barrage for 3 damage. I'm probably going to lose this one. I may well do. So he's going to do 2 damage and block my physical attack, my only physical attack. So I'm dead. Etty's dead. That dungeon didn't go very well either. Oh well. It went better than the last one. We got a little bit of money. 18 gold. Not a lot of money. And we get a song from the bard in the background. And Shiden arrives. So there's always going to be one of each class. Each time a dungeoneer dies, it will be replaced by someone else. The way you collect more is simply by having more rooms. That's most of the mechanics. You've seen the combat play out fairly in depth there, and we've got all. You've seen those. So I don't think there's much more to show you. That is the Guild of Dungeoneers. It's a pretty interesting game. I really, really wish... I mean, like I say, it doesn't hurt the game too much, but I really, really wish it would run at higher frame rates. The fact that it's locked at 30 is just obnoxious as hell. I don't know. That one irks me. And the fact that I can't change the resolution. That one's pretty annoying too. Well, other than that, I think it's got some unique stuff going on. I think it's a pretty interesting game. This is out tomorrow on Steam. It's available for Mac and Windows. Available for £10.99 or your regional equivalents, and for £14.99 you get a deluxe edition with the soundtrack. If you pre-purchase the game before it launches, you'll also get the first DLC pack, which will be the Pirate's Cove, which is out in a few months. So you'll get a extra chunk of content added on there. If you like this, that might well be a deal that might be of interest to you. There you go, that is Guild of Dungeoneers. Dungeoneering even, sorry. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Meroka. I'll see you next time.
Yeah!